It seems like nobody likes J.D. Vance, even some Republicans.
Trump has always been pretty good about supporting Ukraine. When Obama was giving Ukraine, blankets, Trump was giving them weapons. So I'm not as worried about the Trump presidency.
Sure.
J.D. Vance says Ukraine doesn't matter all that much. Well, the vice presidency doesn't matter all that much either. The president is what matters, and that's who I'm voting for.
For anyone who hasn't been following it, J.D. Vance is now Trump's vice presidential pick. Originally, he had criticized Trump and said he was like Hitler, but now he has become Trump's pick and changed his ways and doing ads that are very MAGA-like. Check this out.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? The media calls us racist for wanting to build Trump's wall. They censor us, but it doesn't change the truth. Joe Biden's open border is killing Ohioans, with more illegal drugs and more Democrat voters pouring into this country. This issue is personal. I nearly lost my mother to the poison coming across our border. No child should grow up an orphan.
So Vance has been doing so much bootlicking that Donald Trump even mocked him.
And then the New York Times did a fake story today, big front page, that J.D. wasn't sure if he wanted my support. J.D. is kissing my ass. He wants my support. I'm 18 points up. If I was 18 points down, he wouldn't want my support. I'll tell you, Jim Jordan wants my support, and he's doing just fine, right?
And at this point, Vance has been reduced to nothing more than just a walking advertisement for Trump and his family.
There's another spin on the contrast again between Joe Biden and Donald Trump that I think it's important to take on. President Trump obviously is one of the most successful real estate executives in the history of our country. Of course, the Trump name became synonymous with luxury and with beauty in the real estate world. And Joe Biden, of course, likes to pretend that he's just Scranton Joe. I don't think Joe Biden knows much about what he is or isn't these days.
That's right. You heard him right. He said the Trump brand is synonymous with luxury. Ugh, barf. Come on. That's the most gaudy brand ever. It's all gold. It's not luxury. It's tacky. It's a tacky brand to the point where a lot of buildings started to take his name off of the brand, as you guys know, after January 6th. There was places around the world that were taking the name Trump off their buildings because they did not want to be associated with them. But J.D. Vance wants to be associated with Donald Trump. He is now Donald Trump's pick. It's amazing the 180 that he made from where he was before on Trump and saying that Trump is a bad person. Now he's on board 100% because he saw that in order to win, he had to make these types of statements and take these types of positions. And his positions are very extreme. He wants to attack a woman's right to choose even more. He wants to make it law that you can't choose across the country. He was talking about taking away a woman's ability to do no-fault divorce. Really wants to reduce women to maybe just being barefoot in the kitchen. That's kind of where he's coming from, it seems like. He also famously has said that if he had been vice president in place of Mike Pence on January 6th, he would have done what Trump wanted him to do. And that's where the danger really lies, is that these people that are getting in line with Trump are part of the cult. And if you have your VP pick who's part of the cult, it's all falling into place very nicely for Donald Trump and what he plans to do with Project 2025, with the Heritage Foundation, with having all these Supreme Court justices ready to just give him absolute immunity. Can you imagine if you have a vice president who's willing to go along with all of your cuckoo plans that are going to be authoritarian, that are going to be going after people that are members of the LGBTQ community? They're going to be going after people that are immigrants. They're going to be going after people that possibly are religious minorities. We don't know because there won't be anyone there to stop Trump. Even in the previous administration, we all saw Mike Pence was a bootlicker. If you don't remember, just Google Mike Pence licking Donald Trump's boots and see what comes up. There's a famous clip of Pence just sitting there at a cabinet meeting, and he's just, singing the praises of Donald Trump and has zero personality and just going along with it. But now we've got J.D. Vance, who not only is willing to go along with it, but is kind of like a junior Trump in training. He wants to be a future Trump, and he's under 40. He's a young guy, so he's probably got a potential to be in politics for a long time. He's a smart guy. He went to, I believe, Yale Law School. So he's not a dumb guy. He's a calculated guy. And he's also a guy who's in the pockets of Peter Thiel, who's a Silicon Valley billionaire, who's got a lot of cuckoo ideas, who's very, very anti-democracy, who wants to give more and more control to billionaires and to corporations, wants less regulations. That's ultimately what all this stuff comes down to, is you have people with money who go and buy these politicians like a J.D. Vance, and then they use their power to get what they want. So J.D. Vance, being a former member of Silicon Valley, has now been a great conduit for the Republicans and the MAGA Republicans and Trump to get other Silicon Valley folks on board. As you might have heard, Elon Musk has committed donating something like $40 million a month for the next 3 months to the Trump campaign, which is ridiculous. And that is able to happen because of Citizens United, a Supreme Court decision that was made years ago that allows individuals to donate that much money, which really just puts the power in the hands of billionaires. And the small person or the regular person or the working class just gets crushed. And if anybody looks at what the Biden administration has done for the working class, they've done a lot of good stuff, whether it's the infrastructure bill, bringing jobs to America, lowering insulin costs. They've done a lot of good things, forgiving all these student loans. They've done a lot of things, and they will continue to do a lot of things if Harris wins and if Harris becomes the nominee, which we all know now Joe Biden has endorsed her. So the choice is very clear. Do you vote for someone who's going to care for people and help pass policies that will help people? Or are you going to go with someone who now has his second in charge and they're all pro-corporation, lowering taxes for corporations, and really not helping the average person? Someone who's willing to, according to J.D. Vance, he would have been willing to overturn the democratically elected president of 2020 because his president at that time, Donald Trump, would have wanted him to. And so in this next case, if we get to a position, let's say, for example, Trump were to win in this year and Vance is his vice president, and in 4 years from now we have another election and some Republican loses, Vance is saying, I would be willing to overthrow democracy to support a dictatorial overtaking of America. That just right there should disqualify you from wanting to vote for this guy. Much less the fact that he's got no spine, that he originally was calling Donald Trump out for the bad human being that Donald Trump is, and now he's done a complete 180 because Silicon Valley has bought him, and he will do whatever they want him to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, the choice keeps getting clearer and clearer. Currently, we have possibly Trump versus Kamala, Trump and Vance versus Kamala and we don't know whom. I personally would vote for a flat tire before I voted for Trump and Vance. So I encourage you to look at Vance's history of how he's spineless and how he just adds even more of a demagoguery and more of a dictator to this ticket, and vote accordingly. Really, if you really like democracy, if you like living in a free country, vote accordingly. Vote Kamala or whoever the nominee ends up being. Please vote for them. Don't vote for the dictators. I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. I have a special on YouTube. It's called The Birds and the Bees. I want you to check it out. It's free. If you like it, tell your friends. If you don't like it, keep it to yourselves. Bye.